third time's a charm here. So filming these videos pretty early doesn't give me a chance to see the numbers and know how we're doing at this point in the week. I can assume that we're probably doing pretty well. I've only seen numbers for Monday, and it's kind of gone exactly how I thought it would go. Like a question like number 1 and number 5 haven't been so great. Our multiplicative comparison problem's been our strongest, which I mean, it really should be. Maybe not as strong as it should be, but it has been our best. So it's kind of going how it should go right now. I think these videos, if you're watching, probably give you a pretty good idea of what you need to be doing, or if you're making mistakes, how you can fix them. Either way, we know that we're still just trying to get that 5 on Friday, the day that really matters. And if it's not a 5, we hope that it's your best score that you've gotten all week. Even if that happens to be a 3. If a 3 is the highest that you've gotten and you got it on a Friday, I mean, you can't really be upset about that. So we got one goal in mind. So hopefully if you're watching these, that's going to help you achieve it. So we're going right into number 1. The perimeter of the shape below is 14 inches. How long is it? Again, yours is worded a little bit differently because I think on yours it says that it's 2 inches wide. How long is it? I've just got it in the picture. So again, as soon as you read that, you should be drawing that rectangle, putting that 2 on the side, and I also would do this. I'm going to put that perimeter equals 14 inches, either inside or outside, somewhere around that rectangle. That way it's going to help you solve your question. So as a visual person, I just really like to rewrite and use what it gives me. So little reminder what perimeter is. Again, remember, if we're measuring the distance around the outside of a shape, the total distance around this rectangle is what we're talking about with the perimeter. And it tells us that the whole distance around is 14 inches. So let's use what we've got first. It told us it's 2 inches wide, and yesterday we said that opposite sides are equal. So if I've got 2 inches, 2 inches wide on this side, I can go ahead and put 2 inches on the other side. So here's where, if I know the total's got to be 14, and I've already got 4 inches, because 2 plus 2 gives me 4, how can I figure out what's left? So again, take your total perimeter, go ahead and get rid of what you already have covered, which is 2 sides equal to 4 inches. 14 minus 4 gives me 10. So like I said in yesterday's video, I can tell right now, if you're choosing C as your answer, that you either didn't watch the video yesterday or you didn't use my foolproof plan, the thing that will never fail. Because if you're saying the answer is 10 and you plug it into the top and the bottom and you do 10 plus 10 plus 2 plus 2, guys, that's going to be 24 inches. It's got to be 14 inches. That's way more than you need. So remember, when you get to this point, you know there's 10 inches left that you have to cover, because you've got 2 sides that you got to split those 10 inches between. You got to have something here and here. So if I take those 10 inches, I split them evenly between those 2 sides, that's going to give me the answer of B. Because if I put 5 here and 5 here, I can check that. 5 plus 5 is going to give me 10. 2 plus 2 is going to give me 4. And if I do 10 plus 4, that would give me my 14 inches. So that would be B. Again, whatever, if you want to just do that from the start, go ahead and put 2 here and then just start plugging in answer choices. You can do that. But if you tried A, 2 plus 2, 4 plus 4, that would only be 8 inches or 10 inches. That's not going to be enough. If you tried B, that would work. C and D would be way more than you needed. So the 2 ways that you've been shown to do number 1, foolproof, guys. They don't miss. Kipton, what are you trying to do in here, bro? I should really put Kipton on the spot and make him come in here. All right, question number 2. Nash watched football for some time. Henry watched football 3 times as long as Nash. Together, they watched 28 hours of football. How many hours did Henry watch? So, first of all, Nash watches the Titans, so I wouldn't say he watches football. But if you tried to solve this the exact same ways you solved it yesterday, you're going to miss it. It's still a multiplicative comparison because it's 3 times as long. You're comparing Nash's time and Henry's time, but this one is different. So since I am doing a multiplicative comparison, I'll go ahead and pull Nash out. I'll go ahead and pull Henry out. And we'll go ahead and start by just drawing our picture. Henry watched football 3 times as long as Nash, meaning Henry gets 3 boxes and Nash gets 1. The only other piece of information, the only other number that it gave me is that together they watched 28 hours of football. So we talked about this on Thursday. Remember, if they give you the total all together, combined they have, that's when you put that bracket, because both of their pictures are going to be equal to 28. That 28 represents both of them. So now you got to figure out what to do with that 28. Since it belongs to both of them, you've got to split those 28 hours of football between both of their pictures, and both of their pictures give us 4 boxes. If you know your facts, 28 divided by 4 would give you 7. So we'd put 7 in each box. I'm assuming people are probably going to get this part perfect. It's going to depend on whether or not they read the question and put their star. How many hours did Henry watch? Nash is awesome, but for this question, we don't care about Nash or the Titans. So if we're looking at Henry's picture, you can go 7 plus 7 plus 7, or 7 times 3. Either way, you should get 21. Hopefully Henry's not watching 21 hours of football. So another multiplicative comparison problem where we literally just take what the problem gives us and we're putting it in the right spots. I'm anxious for that quiz or that test, which will be coming up soon. All right, question number 3, maybe. So I made a mistake on the answer choices yesterday, but obviously I fixed them in time for you to do it. Hopefully there's no mistake on this one, but if there is, whatever. I made a goal to do 3,000 push-ups every single week. No chance. I did 568 Monday through Wednesday and 1,283 Thursday through Saturday. How many more push-ups do I need to do on Sunday? Keywords there being how many more, meaning I need to go ahead and subtract. So I'll do this one differently today. Instead of doing 3,000 minus and then minus again, I'll go ahead and add up my 2 totals first. I'll go ahead and do 1,283 plus 568. So if I did 8 plus 3, that would give me 11. 1 stays, 1 goes. 8 plus 6 gives me 14, plus 1 gives me 5. Or 15, I'm sorry. 5 stays, 1 goes. 5 plus 2 gives me 7, plus 1 gives me 8. And bring down the 1, I get 1,851. Now, this doesn't really matter if you don't know what you just did. That number right there represents how many push-ups I did Monday through Saturday. I still got to figure out how many I need to do on Sunday. So what I can do now is I can take my goal, 3,000, get rid of the 1,851 that I already did, and that's going to tell me how many I have left to do on Sunday. So let me get rid of this. Oops. Maybe. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right. So we start in the ones place as always. And if you look at the ones place, you can't do 0 minus 1. There's more on the floor. Got to go next door and get 10 more. Knock, knock. Nobody's home. We can't borrow from 0. So if we're at 0 or we're at the empty house, you're going to start boxing it off and the rest of the neighborhood, just like we did yesterday. So we went from having 0 tens to now having 300 tens, but I still only need 1. That 300 would change to 299. I don't know why that keeps happening. And this 0 would change to 10. Now I'd be able to go back to the ones place, start subtracting all the way through. 10 minus 1 in the ones place would give me 9. 9 minus 5 in the tens place would give me 4. 9 minus 8 in the hundreds place would give me 1. And then 2 minus 1 in the thousands place would also give me 1, for a total of B, 1,149 push-ups. Again, I showed you that a little bit differently today. Different process, same answer as long as you're doing the math correctly. I probably prefer the way that I did it yesterday, but if you're just somebody who likes to see something different, that could work for you. All right, moving on. Number 4. I was actually kind of surprised with how this one looked on Monday. I thought this one would be a little bit better, but maybe it's a good thing that we're bringing it back to review. It says, what fraction of the circle is shaded? Again, You're going to get your denominator from how many pieces you have. And if you're looking at that picture, there are 5 total sections. And if we're looking at what is shaded, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those sections are shaded, which gives us 4/5. Again, you don't see that as an answer choice. That doesn't mean you're wrong, doesn't mean you need to panic. It doesn't mean you just choose D because it has a 4 or you choose B because you see a 5. There's something you can do to figure out what your answer is. Even though they all look different, one of them might represent the same amount. To find out if one of these is equivalent, cross multiply. So let's plug in A, 1/4. If I cross multiply, 5 times 1 gives me 5. Can I move my face out of here? And 4 times 4 gives me 16. Pretty clear difference there. They would not be equivalent. All right, so then I would try 4/5 and 1/5. You should be able to look at the denominators on that one and know that they're not equivalent, but 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Again, pretty clearly not equivalent. They are different. Yeah, I think at 9. Yeah, at 9, period. Nope. 9. 9. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose it. 9. Okay, so then we would try 4/5 and C, 8/10. Cross multiply again. You probably know by now, this is a lot easier if you know your facts. 5 times 8 gives me 40. 10 times 4 gives me 40. Those numbers are the same, meaning 8/10 is going to be equivalent, which will be my answer, but I will still check 4/5 and 4/6. Maybe. There we go. And if I cross multiplied here, I would see that neither of those numbers are the same. They would not be equivalent, which would give me C. Again, you do not have to cross multiply fractions every time. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll just give you the answer. But if you don't see it, you know exactly what you need to do. All right, last one. Number 5 is the question to me where if you watch the video, you only need to see it once. Once you know how to do it, you should get it right every time. I mean this in the nicest way possible. The people who are missing it might just be being lazy because it's very easy for you to add zeros on this one. Or maybe they're just not watching the videos. So again, kind of tell you what I told you yesterday. If I've got hundreds, and I think of a $100 bill, that's 2 zeros. So I would add 2 zeros to that number. If I've got tens, 10 has 1 0, I would add 1 0 to that number. So starting with A, I'm looking for 5,980. All right, so I would take 58 hundreds. Here's 58. I'm going to add 2 zeros. All right, 9 tens. I'm going to put the number 9 and add 1 0. If I added those together, gives me something fairly close, 5,890, but not what I'm looking for. So A would get eliminated. All right, then I would try B, 46 hundredths. So I would write 46, and I would add 2 zeros because it's hundreds. And then 138 tens. I would write down 138 and add 1 0 because, again, it's tens. Add those up, and that gives me exactly what I'm looking for, 5,980. Now, guys, when you look at that answer choice, that looks nothing like 5,980. Doesn't matter. If you do the work and add the zeros, you're going to see that that one's equivalent or it's equal. So I'll still do C and D anyways. 59 tens would be 59 plus 1 0, and 80 tens would be 80 with 1 0. You can already look at that and know that that's not going to be enough. 1,390. And then I would just try D, which I'm afraid people would pick because they see 5980 in order. But if they did the math, 59 hundreds with the 2 zeros there, 80 tens with the 0 there, sorry about that. Add those together, and I'd be going too far. It'd be 6,700. So B being my answer for number 5. So I like these questions this week because it's not hard to miss them, but it's easy to get them right. There are ways that you can use your answer choices to get your answers in a way that doesn't involve much math, like for number 5. Just adding those zeros. The addition that I'm doing is all single-digit addition once I get those numbers. So if you're utilizing these strategies, I think you're probably seeing your number go up from Monday to Wednesday today. So you'll have one more day of practice. You have one more day of the practice, Fan 5 questions, one more review video before your quiz on Friday. So hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow.